Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 3.16% to 29,025. Ethereum down 6.60% to 1664. Looking across the market, we see a lot of red at the present time. We can always see shoots of green here and there. But we understand Bitcoin's gravity. When Bitcoin comes down, 99% of the crypto market comes down with it. But it means around 1% of alts move against Bitcoin. They actually will go up as Bitcoin comes down. And what you find when you have very steep sell-offs in markets, money tends to flow or get concentrated into a handful of specific cryptos, and this can be really profitable. If you have a percentage of your portfolio dedicated to trading, and we know all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell, but what happens is that many investors don't actually know when to buy or when to sell. Do they hold on longer? Do they wait? And as a result of this, many people hodl, and it lives up to its name, hold on for dear life. That can be holding on for dear life when the price goes up, and it can be holding on for dear life when the price goes down. As all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell, having a percentage of your portfolio, even if it was just a very small percentage, say 10%, is a really good idea to focus that on trading. And when you focus on trading, just getting started, don't worry about making huge returns, worry about getting it right. We know that we can start small and scale, and it's the same with trading. Just get your confidence up, go step by step. What we've just done together is a quick run through all the sectors of the crypto market. It's really important to understand how the crypto market is moving each and every single day. As crypto technical analysts, we scientifically track investor attention, and investor attention is measured by price, which is reality, not future promises. We understand the zones, the 4 zones that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are the addiction to certainty zones. People are likely to fire before they're ready or even aim, and that is a big problem. In Zone 3 and Zone 4, we ditch the concept of certainty and we go for probability and rules. It's a completely different way of thinking. So it's important to understand that in order to trade, you really must acquire the knowledge. The first piece of knowledge is to mark up your charts with the CTKS method. Then we look at outside trends, outside the crypto market, checking world events, checking the stock markets, collecting probabilities, because the stock market can influence crypto, and it does regularly. Then we look back inside the crypto market, aiming. We find the market's focus, understanding that opportunities reset daily, and enhancing our pattern recognition. Before we buy or sell, we must master our emotional control. And professionals are not emotional. You consider a doctor or a surgeon doing surgery. That particular professional will not get emotionally involved. They won't be driven by fear. And if they are, they won't do as good a job as if they weren't. We have to look at the markets in exactly the same way. We can't let self-doubt or self-sabotage interfere with the profitability that you can extract from the market. But don't forget, you can control your investments and trades. The market will control the return. We just have to move with the market. Then we get into the trigger section where we look at methodologies to buy or sell. I thought it might be interesting to cover a few different chart types. We can see TWT over the past 24 hours was one of the largest percent gainers. It's just retracing at the moment, but this shows a really interesting pattern. We can see, using the EC method, that we're actually crossing across resistance at this point. There's a lot of support through here, so even if we come back to this particular level around 61.82, we're likely to bounce. Now this is important because as crypto technical analysts, we're actually tracking investor attention TWT has investor attention. I'm not recommending you get into any of these particular cryptos. You must do your own research, but I'm just putting out on your radar what is there. Pax Gold or Pax G, really interesting to keep an eye on this. We can see that gold obviously spiked because that's what Pax G does. Let's have a look at RSR. RSR has been doing really quite well. Notice how price is always moving in a wave. It's always going up and coming down, up and down. That's a critical thing to remember. We can also see KTC, notorious for its spikiness, is on an uptrend. Now we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, so that blue line is Bitcoin's gravity. Let's have a look at the top losers. When we look at Chainlink, you can see Chainlink sold off fairly wildly because it's obeying Bitcoin's gravity, but at the same time, it's doing actually quite well. It's doing a breakout, and we know price moves in waves. NIA is selling off below support levels. This generally is not a good pattern. KSM is also selling off below a support. That is also not a good thing. And what happens when price actually goes below a support level? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And we can see CRV has broken down below support as well. It may have a small area of support here, but it's breaking down. Now, what caused all this? Of course, Bitcoin's gravity did, because no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. But the question is, what caused Bitcoin's gravity to turn negative? In yesterday's video, we saw that there was a little bit of a spike in the VIX, or the fear gauge of the main market, the main stock market. So this is why we need to look at the stock market, because it can give us a bit of an insight into what could happen with crypto. Yesterday, we were at about this level, and I just drew your attention to the fact that we have support down here. We've basically hit that support, and that's where it stopped for the time being. The question is, will we continue to get negative pressure, or will the markets rebound? And this is important because we know that Bitcoin is impacted by the stock market's gravity. Please let me know what you think in the comments on YouTube. We can also see that bond prices came up and bond prices went down and bond yields came up, and they came up strongly. I will just explain that in a little while. And we can also see that gold actually spiked as the dollar was spiking as well. This is not usual behavior. Generally, as the dollar strengthens, gold tends to decrease. But you'll see in financial markets, there are no hard and fast rules. Things synchronize and desynchronize all of the time. There is no certainty in any financial market, especially crypto. And what do we see with oil? Oil was charging up and has done a bit of a retracement. What do you see in the put-call ratio? There's a lot more bearish sentiment or negative sentiment entering the market. And that's because prices have sold down and fear is spiking up. What do you think will happen across the weekend to crypto? Do you think, for example, that Main Street investors and traders will look at this and say, wow, I have to get out of here. I'm going to sell at support? Or do you think that optimism may come in and people might say, okay, that looks pretty close to a support level, so I think price is going up? Please let me know in the comments. It's really good to discuss these things. So what actually happened? We had a CPI print of 8.6% in May, the highest since 1981. And what was this 8.6% composed of? If we go across to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, we can see that the greatest contributors to inflation were energy. And what is happening with energy? You got it. The Ukraine-Russia war. And Russia is a dominant supplier of energy, especially throughout Europe. And what else do we see? New vehicles and used cars and trucks up quite a bit. And what is that due to? Please let me know what your thoughts are. One thing that you might like to consider, was the C-19 pandemic had absolutely changed the dynamics of the used car and new vehicle industry. It's important to understand that on the 24th of February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and this was a very, very problematic issue for the whole of Europe. Basically, the invasion caused Europe's fastest growing refugee crisis since World War II, and more than 7 million Ukrainians fled the country. This is 107 days ago. There's been around 46,000 people killed and approximately 13,000 people injured, and at least 15 million people have been displaced. So you can see what happened following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. All these energy prices, these energy commodities absolutely spiked. And then they came down in April and re-spiked because there was a lot of talk about the war being shortly lived, but it's been dragging on for 107 days. This is a major component of inflation. The other thing to keep in mind is there's been 539.67 million cases of C-19 and 6.3 million deaths. We can see that the number of daily new cases is decreasing, which is really, really good, and the number of daily deaths is also decreasing. But as we actually look around, there are certain parts of the world where C-19 is still wreaking a lot of havoc. For example, just yesterday in the US, there were 100,000 new cases. And in Australia, there were nearly 33,000 cases just yesterday. If we rank by total cases, US, Germany, Taiwan, DPRK, Brazil, France, Australia, Italy, Japan, Spain, Chile, and South Korea, then followed by the UK, we can see C-19 hasn't gone away at all. So we have two main drivers of these inflationary pressures all around the world. C-19, which is slowly going away, but not fast enough. And of course, the problems with Russia. As we live in a highly interconnected world, the problems with one country soon become the problems of every other country. And when we look at Bitcoin compared to inflation expectations, we can see the 5-year has taken a spike up, the 10-year not so much. What does this actually tell us? That short-term inflation is much, much stronger than long-term inflation. Why is that? Because just eventually we'll see these things turn around, but it does take time. And for example, if the annual inflation rate is 8.6, it would look like this. We would get a kick up like this. We can see also that the Fed balance sheet is starting to roll over, but within the last month, it did see a kick up. So it's not just coming straight down off a cliff. And we can notice that the Nasdaq has retraced to a level of support, and Bitcoin also. Rule 4 is a really, really good rule to keep in mind, and it's powerful. Price moves in waves. Price is always going up and down, up and down. And this is why it's so important to apply Rule 621, buy on red, sell on green. And here's BORSOG, the price eagle, screeching, buy on red, sell on green. But of course, this requires knowledge. If we look on a daily basis, we've been bouncing around, Bitcoin has been bouncing around between the level of support at 28,957 and resistance at 31,775 for 29 days. That's quite a while. And what we see, this level of support at 28,957 is quite a strong level. We've been touching this level, reinforcing this level a lot. With what's happening in the US economy, if we see widespread capitulation, we can look into the KS model and determine what that capitulation could look like. You can see this red line on the daily basis has caught many capitulation moves, even the COVID sell-off, where the whole world basically shut down. Now, where is that particular number coming through? It's at 20,644.46. Masterclass students, you'll receive this live chart in TM2. And you can see this number is always changing around based on current price action. We can see that if Bitcoin went under a capitulation move, we are approximately 29% away from that level. Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TG34. But if we went the other way and we breached this resistance line and we strongly increased in price momentum, we're about 24% away from that happening. Please let me know your thoughts. Where do you think Bitcoin is headed in the next video? Do you think it will stay bounded between A and 1? And whereabouts do you think it might actually end up? Bitcoin is currently trading at 29,163. Do you think we'll get above A or be below A, perhaps down to B or C? Or do you think we'll go the other way? Please let me know in the comments. The markets are very fluid and always moving. We saw before, this is the NASDAQ 100. It came up and then that pulled Bitcoin's gravity up, went up a little bit further, but Bitcoin said, yeah, I'm not having too much of that. I'm selling down. And we've seen the NASDAQ come down. So this may help inform your decisions. We always want to make three-way decisions on whatever we do inside the crypto market. Are prices going up? Are they coming down? Or are they going sideways? And you always need to know what you will do in response to what Bitcoin can do, and the crypto market as well. And just remember, we're inside weekend trading, so we often see lower volumes, which can move the market around considerably. Let's have a look at what the longs and shorts are doing. We can see the shorts increasing their positions. The longs are starting to flatten out. So let's have a look at liquidations. Over the last 24 hours, we've had 268.85 million in liquidations across 74,533. This is actually quite interesting. When you see how far price went down, you would expect the liquidations to be more and the liquidation numbers to be more. They're actually lower on both counts. When we look at total liquidations across the past 24 hours, 85.33% were long. What about the past 12 hours? 89.4% long. What about the past 4 hours? 78.08% long. What about the past hour? Nearly 92% long. And when we just scroll down and look at the proportion of long liquidations to short liquidations, longs and shorts are always getting liquidated, but the predominant number is the long side of liquidations at the moment. And we can see prices going down. Looking inside the top 100, we can see the greatest gainer over the past 24 hours is BSV, followed by HT, PAXG, Leo, and then we're getting into stable coins. What about going the other way? CBX, greatest loss, followed by Waves, NIA, Link, KSM, Cello, CRV, and Aave. We can see total value locked in DeFi is 101.75 billion. And we can see total value locked across all chains. Ethereum number 1, BNB number 2, Tron, AVAX, and then Sol. Let's have a look at the top cryptos. We can see Bitcoin still under resistance. Ethereum following Bitcoin's directional movement, way under resistance. Binance Coin under resistance and following Bitcoin's gravity directional price movement with directional correlation. XRP following Bitcoin's gravity. ADA performing quite strongly because we know that the Vasil hard fork is coming up on June 29th. It's over resistance, which is great. This downward leg may be an opportunity to enter if you think that's the right thing to do. And of course, always do your own research. Remember that if Bitcoin comes down further, we would expect more negative pressure on ADA. Solana following Bitcoin's gravity. Doge doing the same, following Bitcoin's gravity under resistance. DOT under resistance, following Bitcoin's gravity as well. Turning to community favorites, we can see NIA selling down, over accentuating Bitcoin's negative momentum. Matic also turning down. Icon was getting above resistance, but no alt can withstand Bitcoin's gravity. As Bitcoin came down, ICX came down as well. And we can see VRA getting rejected from that resistance line as well. Rose still under resistance. KSM selling down. And IOTA was getting as well, just like ICX. IOTA was doing well, but Bitcoin's gravity dragged it down. So you can say, what happened to IOTA? Bitcoin happened. What happened to your beloved alt? Bitcoin happened. So that's why you need to understand what Bitcoin is doing. IOTEX also is being dragged down by Bitcoin's gravity. On days like today, with so much red inside the market, a lot of people feel really fearful. I put out episode 349 some time ago, 10 ways to master fear. This could be really helpful to you. Another thing to take notice of, the market has been in extreme fear for quite some time. The Fear and Greed Index is currently 13, which is extreme fear, and it's been hovering around here for a month. Also, please let me know in the comments, what do you think about these stable coins, USDT, USDC, and BUSD being red at the moment? What does that tell the crypto market? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and the CTKS ambassadors for assisting masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and also the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, and you can reach out to me at any time and directly message me on Twitter. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.